Devam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, so we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 23. Please repeat. Just see how beautiful the Sanskrit is and just the Bhagavatam is so relishable. Sattvam rajastama iti prakriter gunastair.
Sattvam rajastama iti prakrtir gunastair.
Yuktah parah purusha eka hi hasya dhatte.
Aparaha purusha ekahi hasya dhate.
Stityadaye hari virinchi hareti samyaha.
Nityayadaye hari virinchi hareti samya.
Shreyamsi tatra khalu sattvatano nrinam syuhu.
Yamsi tatra kalu sattvatanurninam suhu.
Okay, so synonyms: Sattvam, goodness; Rajaha, passion; Tamaha, the darkness of ignorance; Iti, thus; Prakritehe, of the material nature; Gunaha, qualities; Taihi, by them; Yuktaha, associated with; Paraha, transcendental; Purushaha, the personality; Ekaha, one; Iha, asya, of this material world; Datte, accepts; Stityade, for the matter of creation, maintenance, and destruction; Hari, Vishnu, the personality of Godhead; Virinchi, Brahma; Hara, Lord Shiva; Iti, thus; Samyaha, different features; Shreyamsi, ultimate benefit; Tatra, therein. Sorry, one second. Khalu, of course; Sattva, goodness; Tanoho, form; Nrinam, of the human being; Syuhu, derived. Just a second, sorry. Okay. Translation: the transcendental personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of goodness. Purport: that Lord Shri Krishna, by his plenary parts, should be rendered devotional service, as explained above, is confirmed by this statement. Lord Shri Krishna and his plenary parts are all Vishnu Tattva, or the Lordship of Godhead. From Shri Krishna, the next manifestation is Baladev. From Baladev is Sankarshan, and from Sankarshan is Narayana. And from Narayana, there is a second Sankarshana. And from this Sankarshana, the Vishnu Purusha avatars. The Vishnu, or the deity of the quality of goodness in the material world, is the Purusha avatar, known as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu or Paramatma. Brahma is the deity of Rajas, passion, and Shiva of ignorance. They are the three departmental heads of the three qualities of this material world. Creation is made possible by Brahma's quality of passion and his endeavor. It is maintained by the goodness of Vishnu. And when it requires to be destroyed, Lord Shiva does it by the Tandava Nritya. The materialists and the foolish beings worship Brahma and Shiva respectively, but the pure transcendentalists worship the form of goodness, Vishnu, in his various forms. Vishnu is manifested by his millions and billions of integrated forms and separated forms. The integrated forms are called Godhead. The separated forms are called the living entities or the jivas. Both the jivas and Godhead have their original spiritual forms. Jivas are sometimes subjected to the control of material nature, but the Vishnu forms are always controllers of this energy. When Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, appears in the material world, he comes to deliver the conditioned living beings who are under the material energy. Such living beings appear in the material world with the intentions of being lords, and thus they become entrapped by the three modes of nature. As such, the living entities have to change their material coverings for undergoing different terms of imprisonment. The prison house of the material world is created by Brahma under instruction of the personality of Godhead. And at the conclusion of a kalpa, the whole thing is destroyed by Shiva. But as far as maintenance of the prison house is concerned, it is done by Vishnu, as much as the state prison house is maintained by the state. Anyone, therefore, who wishes to get out of the prison house of material existence, which is full of miseries, like the repetition of birth, death, disease, and old age, must please Lord Vishnu for such liberation. Lord Vishnu is worshipped by devotional service only. And if anyone has to continue present life in the material world, he may ask for relative facilities for temporary relief from the different demigods like Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Varuna. No demigod, however, can release the imprisoned living being from the conditioned life of material existence. This can be done only by Vishnu. Therefore, the ultimate benefit may be derived from Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. So, here, this verse, the transcendental personality of God is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature. So, the word is used here that yuktaha. Yuktaha means associated with. Paraha Purushaha. He is transcendental, but yuktaha through some connection, through some means of connection. That's the word that is indirectly associated. So one can, people when they read this, see, Brahma is saying that Supreme Personality Godhead indirectly associated with three modes of material nature, and he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Therefore, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are all one. Everybody is one. It's stated in the Bhagavatam also. They will take these verses and explain it like that. So how do you respond? The point is, or how to understand this? Well, it's very simple. That even though it says he accepts, okay, so they will say, well, see, it says he accepts the three qualitative forms. He accepts in the sense that everything originates from him. Brahma and Shiva also originate from him. And we also originate from him. But when it says he accepts the three qualitative forms indirectly, and even though it said that he is the transcendental personality of Godhead, he is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature. What people think, those who are infected by Mayavad, they will think, you see, this verse very clearly states, Brahman, when he comes to this material world, he doesn't have a form. In order to accept a form, he has to take the three modes of material nature. Therefore, we also are Brahman, and we have come down, we have accepted this material form, which is some form of, three modes of material nature. And therefore, mukti, liberation, means we have to give up this form and we have to merge into Brahman, and we also become Brahman. We are only Shiva, we are only Vishnu, we are only Ganesha, we are only everything. Everything is Brahman. Actually, we have forgotten this, therefore we are in Maya. But when we remember this, we are Brahman, Shivoham, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, and like this, they will keep saying some nonsense. Okay, why is this now? It's said right here. Because this is they have to understand that there is no denying in the Vaishnava philosophy that Vishnu is the source of everything, including us. It is not what, there is no other way. Krishna is the source of everything. But how is he the source of everything? And yes, even though he may be the source of something, does it mean that that which has come from him is equal to himself? So many things come out of our body. This is our energy. You have so many types of energy. One type of energy is our saliva. Another type of energy is the sound that comes from our. Then we pass stool, we pass urine. Are these all the same thing as us? It comes from us. Doesn't mean that it is us. Okay, but then it is said here that he accepts the three qualitative forms. Yes, because it is all done by his will only. That Krishna is not forced. You see, when we have, many times we speak, sometimes we spit invariably. We don't want to spit, but saliva comes out of our mouth. It is not because of our willingness. Same thing. Whatever is produced out of this body, it is not pleasant. That is the nature of this body. Sweat. We don't want to produce sweat, but sweat is produced. We don't want to pass urine. We don't want to pass stool. Stool is produced. And when we have to pass stool, you have to pass stool. When you have to pass water, urine, you have to pass urine. You cannot control. But Krishna is not like that. He was never forced to accept these forms. It is all by his willingness that through the agency, through the medium of these different personalities, in the case of Brahma and Shiva, he empowers them with the three modes of material nature. This is the point, that Brahma is empowered by the mode of passion. Shiva is empowered by the mode of, one second, please. Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah. All right. So Shiva is empowered by the mode of ignorance. Vishnu, and in the Chandan left is, one second. Oh. Do something about this laptop. Okay. Yeah, if it comes again, I'll have to open it up again. All right. So, and okay, then what does it mean that of all these three, all human beings can derive the ultimate benefit from Vishnu? So Prabhupada goes in the purport. He explains how actually everything comes from Krishna. That Krishna, the first plenary expansion is Baladev or Balaram. From Balaram comes Shankarshan. And then from Shankarshan comes Narayana. And then from Narayana, there is a second Shankarshana. And from this Shankarshana comes the Vishnu Purusha avatars. What are the Purusha avatars? You have the Mahavishnu, Karnodakashai Vishnu, who lies on the Karana ocean. The Karana ocean is the ocean that is the river, Viraja river. It is sometimes called Viraja river, and sometimes it is called Karana ocean. It is the, so what happens when, so there are living entities. You read the whole pastime of, we are currently going through that in our Bhagavatam classes in the third canto, of Jaya and Vijaya being cursed by the Sanat Kumaras. And there in the purports, Srila Prabhupada explains how when a living entity becomes envious of the Supreme Lord, when he becomes infected by the three enemies. What are the three enemies? Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18. Trividam narakasyeva dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodha tatha lobas tasmad etam trayam trajet. Trayam tyajet. That Kama, Krodha, Tatha, Lobas. So you have Kama, sense gratification, desire to engage in sense gratification, Krodha, anger, and Lobha, greed, lust, greed. Lobha means greed. Greediness, wanting to accumulate more than what is needed, what is required. Kama, Krodha, Tatha, Lobas. Tasmadeta Trayam Tajet. That these three have to be given because these three lead to hell. So when a living entity becomes infected by these three, they cannot be in Vaikuntha. Any living entity who becomes envious of Krishna, who wants to enjoy like Krishna, they cannot stay in Vaikuntha, because in Vaikuntha, all the living entities are one with the Lord in terms of desire. That whatever the Supreme Lord desires, that is their desire. They are very happy with that. They are serving Him. They are in bliss. It's devotional service. Krishna reciprocates with the devotees. Devotees reciprocate with Krishna. This is called love of God. This is called prema. The living entities in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha, which are way more greater. There are far more living entities up there than there are down here, even though it looks like there are a lot of people down here. And so the living entities, when they want to enjoy, the material world, when they want to enjoy like Krishna, when they want to play like Krishna, then at that time, they have to come down to this material world. So that time, so how is that possible? How can the living entities enjoy like Krishna? Can we ever enjoy like Krishna? We are not Krishna. We are minuscule particles. These people say, "Oh, we are Brahman. We are Brahman. Everybody is God. Everything is God. All the demigods are all one." This all comes from the same philosophy, right? Now you say everything is one, and we are God. Then why are you conditioned? Why do you have to practice? Why do you have to do anything? God can do anything. Why are we struggling to come out of Maya? Why should there be sadhana? Why should there be meditation? Why should there be nothing? Because one, if we are actually God, then if this is all just a leela, if it is all just a pastime, if it is a drama, then what is the difficulty? At that point, if it's just a drama, then whenever the drama player wants to stop playing, he can play. He might be crying, he might have lost his son, and he's acting like he's having a heart attack, he's acting about to die. But the moment it's time that the drama is over, the dead person wakes up and walks away at his will. So that is how Krishna does his pastimes. His pastimes are all like that. That is called avatar. Avatar means that Krishna has everything under his control. He's not forced. But we are not like that. We didn't choose our mother and father. Krishna chose his parents. Devaki and Vasudev, Krishna chose them. We didn't get to choose. We didn't get to choose our form. We didn't get to choose our brothers or sisters or our place of birth. Nothing. Krishna chooses everything. He chose to appear in Kamsa's prison cell, in the jail. Where Kamsa was. Why he could have chosen to appear? He chose to appear there. He was not forced to appear. So when the living entity becomes deranged like this, at that time, but ultimately we are sons of Krishna. We are all his part and parcels. So he never gives up on us. But he wants to reform us. How to reform us? By sending us down to the material world. So what is this material world? It is the dream of Mahavishnu. It is only in Krishna's dream can the living entities act like they can be God. Otherwise, he cannot be God. It is not our constitutional position. It is neither our desire or it is not our constitutional position. We will not be happy. But we fail to realize this. We keep thinking that through sense gratification, we will be happy. So it is in the dream of Mahavishnu that, so Mahavishnu lies down a Karana ocean. It is a cloud in the spiritual world. That is the material world. And in that Karana ocean, all the innumerable universes emanate from the pores of his body. Then Mahavishnu enters into each of those universes, again fills it half with water from his own sweat. He generates water from his body and he fills it up halfway. He lies down on it and from his navel comes out Brahma. Brahma is born. Then Krishna, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, again expands himself as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu and becomes as the Paramatma in all the living entities' hearts. In each and every atom within the material world, Paramatma is situated. So these are the Purusha avatars. And that Purusha avatar, that Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord, that is the Lord of mode of goodness. It is not that he is belonging to the mode of goodness. He is the Lord of the mode of goodness. He has taken that role up. And why goodness? Because we already saw that from goodness, one can arise to the platform of Shuddha Sattva, to the mode of purified goodness. That from the mode of goodness comes satisfaction, enlightenment. All of these things come from the mode of goodness. So the mode of goodness is very important. But the mode of passion is used to create, and the mode of ignorance is used to destroy. And the Prabhupada said, the foolish materialists, they worship Brahma and Shiva. Why? Because they are not concerned about being influenced by the modes of material nature. They don't care about this. They don't care about liberation. They don't care about going back home, back to Godhead. And therefore, that's why Prabhupada says the materialists and foolish human beings worship Brahma and Shiva respectfully. And yes, they will get many desires fulfilled. But what is the use? Punarapi jananam, punarapi manaram, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. You keep going through the cycle of birth and death. This will not make us happy. If we were happy, if we were content to sense gratification, we would not be here right now. We would not be in this present body. We would not be working for anything because we have experienced everything already. We have worshipped everyone. We have experienced everything. And still we are here. There's only one person we have forgotten to worship, and that is Krishna. And therefore, those who are devotees, they need to focus only on worshipping Krishna. No, none of the demigods, nothing. Why? Because they are influenced by the modes of material nature. Yes, they are representatives for everybody else in the material world, but we are trying to go out of this material world. We don't have any business with them. We are trying to come out of it. Just like somebody in the prison may be a little corrupt and he's going around and he's trying to make, other prison inmates. He wants to be the boss of other prison inmates. He has some good guards and this and that. But somebody who's laser focused on getting out of the prison, he's already establishing connections with whom? The person at the top who doesn't even live in the prison house. He establishes relationships with them through his connections, through recommendations, this, that. He's interested in getting out. He's not interested in some of the petty things within the prison house because he's done with it. So same thing, a devotee should fearlessly give up worshipping the demigods. They may be attached to them, but we should give it up. Why are we attached to worshipping demigods? Because we have no sense. We don't understand philosophy, nothing. Simply sentimental, you keep looking at. We don't, like these demigods, we have to understand all of that knowledge comes from Shastra. And we are not disrespecting them. The greatest respect given to the demigods is that we go out of this material world. The demigods worship such a person. We become worshipable by the demigods. Forget about worshipping the demigods. If anybody who becomes a pure devotee following the acharyas, the demigods worship them. Without understanding all of this, we do everything topsy-turvy. And so Prabhupada, he says here that the prison house of the material world is created by Brahma under the instruction of the personality Godhead. And the conclusion of the Kalpa, the whole thing is destroyed by Shiva. So anyone, therefore, who wishes to get out of the prison house of material existence must please Lord Vishnu for such liberation. Why? Because the maintenance of the prison house is done by Vishnu. Vishnu maintains this material world. Even if we want whatever we need, ultimately Vishnu only has to bless it. When the demigods have problems, they go to Vishnu. So why are we hesitant? Why do we think we need to go to the demigods? We don't. We should not be worried about this. We should understand that we are pleasing them. So it's a very important point to understand. The demigods are not, as we may think, little kids, little bigots who are up there that these devotees, they didn't keep my picture and this and that and all this kind of sentiment, they will get offended. And we don't have any clue. We have to learn about who they are. We have a lot of misunderstanding about who is what. And so anyways, therefore, we don't ask for temporary relief from the different demigods, such as Shiva, Brahma, Indra, Varuna. And why? Because no demigod can release the imprisoned living entity from the conditioned life of material existence. Because they themselves are conditioned, or at least they are not given that right. Lord Shiva is not technically conditioned. He's not a Jivatma like us. Therefore, he doesn't have to attain liberation. But still, he cannot give liberation. This can only be done from Vishnu. Therefore, the ultimate benefit may be derived from Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Okay, text 24. Loading, not loading. Okay, there. Okay, please repeat. Parthiva dharuno dhumas.
Parthivatharuno dhumas.
Tasmadagnistrayimaya.
Tasmadagnistrayimaya
Tamasasturajastasmat.
tamasasturajastasmat
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Okay, Parthivat. Parthivat, from Dharunaha, forward, Dhumaha, smoke, Stavad, from that, Agnihi, fire, Trayi, Vedic sacrifices, Mayaha, made of Tamasaha, in the mode of ignorance. Two, but Rajaha, the mode of passion, Tasmat, from that, Satvam, the mode of goodness, yet which Brahma, the absolute truth, Darshanam, realization, translation, firewood is a transformation of earth, but smoke is better than raw wood. And fire is still better, for by fire we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge through Vedic sacrifices. Similarly, passion, rajas, is better than ignorance, tamas, but goodness, sattva, is the best, because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. Such a beautiful example that's given here. In this Prabhupada's purport, as explained above, one can get release from the conditioned life of material existence by devotional service to the personality of Godhead. It is further comprehended herein that one has to rise to the platform of the mode of goodness, sattva, so that one can be eligible for the devotional service of the Lord. But if there are impediments on the progressive path, anyone, even from the platform of tamas, can gradually rise to the sattva platform by the expert direction of the spiritual master. Sincere candidates must therefore approach an expert spiritual master for such a progressive march. And the bona fide expert spiritual master is competent to direct a disciple from any stage of life, tamas, rajas, or sattva. It is a mistake, therefore, to consider that the worship of any quality or any form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally beneficial. Sorry, just 1 second. Okay. Except Vishnu, all separated forms are manifested under the conditions of material energy. And therefore, the forms of material energy cannot help anyone rise to the platform of sattva, which alone can liberate the person from material bondage. Okay, let's explain these two paragraphs. So, one can get relief from the conditioned life of material existence of devotional service to the personality of Godhead. So the verse is very nice, right? So what is firewood? Firewood is nothing but a transformation of earth. Right? It's just how amazing is Krishna's process. You have this earth. You cannot burn earth. You can never make it burn. It can never become fuel. But the same earth, it is transformed into firewood. How? How is it transformed? By plants. By the agency, Krishna's creation. But how does that Krishna's creation work? When the living entity becomes a plant, that spirit, soul, spark, and the Paramatma situated there transforms this in order to create a body that this living entity may be able to live in and enjoy or suffer according to that body. That transformation happens. So that firewood is transformed. It's amazing. We're now in this farm, and it rains quite a bit up here. And so it's humid and damp. So I was walking through the forest, exploring. We are trying to figure, kind of exploring our property. And it looks like a log of wood. It looks like a tree. And I stepped on it, and it just went, oh, it just turned into mud. Just like completely just like mud. It looked exactly like a tree. Why? Because it was damp, it was wet. It started to decompose, and now it's becoming fresh topsoil. It's becoming earth. It came from earth and it's becoming earth again. And it's so amazing. When I stepped on that, I thought of this verse. Parthiva dharuno dhumas tasmad etat tasmad what is that? Tasmad agnistrayimaya tamasastu rajas tasmad sattvam yad brahma darshanam. So it's become now. What is that? Now this firewood you can light. It is now fuel, and you can have agni come from this. Fire come from this, and so fire can come. But how does that fire first come? Initially there is smoke, especially if the wood is not dry, fully dry. It generates a lot of smoke. So that smoke, but that smoke is still better because at least the wood is burning. But what is best? Raw wood, totally dry, raw wood that you can immediately, very quickly flame, and it burns brightly, and it converts itself into ash. What is this ash? This ash just becomes earth again. Such an amazing process Krishna has. And similarly, passion, rajas is better than tamas. Yes. But sattva is the best. Because sattvam yet Brahma Darshana, that from sattva, from mode of goodness, one can get transcendental knowledge. So this transcendental knowledge is given by the spiritual master. The spiritual master can pick us up from anywhere. We don't have to think, I am so fallen, I am so dumb, I am so much in the mode of ignorance. I don't think I can become devotee, Prabhuji. I should have been born in a Brahmin family. I should have ate only this and that. I should have, chanted all of these things. I should have become a devotee child. I'm not so pious. All that reasons are all nonsense, bakwas. An expert spiritual master can transform one from any condition of life into a pure devotee, provided the living entity is sincere and willing to hear. So, this is the point Srila Prabhupada makes. Therefore, one should expert spiritual master. So, if one thinks that any form, any quality, it's all okay. My uncle told me, I think not my uncle. It's outrageous, but my grandfather said that. What did he say? He said, see, ultimately, all these forms are just for us to worship. When you worship, that through that form, God reciprocates. But God is present everywhere. I said, what do you mean? He said, yes. If you worship a pig, then the pig will reciprocate you as God. Such an outrageous thing. But this is my word. It came from my own grandfather's mouth. I heard it. And he's a so-called Brahmin, South Indian Brahmin. No understanding, no clue. Such bogusness. They think that actually if you worship a pig, if you worship it enough and you are meditative enough and you somehow put your energy and channel or God knows what they are talking about, they themselves don't know what they are talking. But the pig will somehow reciprocate with them as God. What rascaldom. And my uncle told me, yeah, any pillar, every pillar is the same. There's actually no difference. The stone in the deity and the stone and the pillar, the stone on the floor is all the same. But for you, that stone and the deity, you seem to have more feeling for it because you are in illusion. But actually, there is no difference. And if you worship the stone on the floor also, it will be the same reciprocation only. This is absolutely bogus. How to understand? How to answer these things? It looks like, yeah, that is also stone, this is also stone. No, but that stone represents the form of the Supreme Lord that is described in Shastra. And second, the pure devotee requests the Supreme Lord to accept that form as him. And out of love, the Supreme Lord, out of the desire of the pure devotee, he makes that form him. Because Krishna can transform matter into spirit and he can transform spirit into matter also. So the deity is Krishna. He's Sakshat Krishna. He's not different from Krishna. And Prabhupada said, if we advance in devotional service and we follow strictly, the deity will speak to you. The deity will speak to you. But it all has to happen through the medium of the bona fide spiritual master. If people don't understand this, they go and offend the deity. They have no understanding. Just because something may give a remembrance, everything doesn't mean that there is remembrance. There is the person and there are articles of the person. So it's not all the same. So therefore, that except Vishnu, all separated forms are manifested under the conditions of material energy. This includes all the demigods. It includes all of us. It includes all the living entities. Therefore, the forms of material energy, any form in the material world, cannot help anyone rise to the platform of sattva. You just draw one circle on the wall and you meditate and you think you will become liberated. All this bogusness. Imagine some. Close your eyes, breathe in, and think some light is entering through your body and escaping through your ears, and all this kind of weird ideas. All this will feel temporarily. One can feel some benefit, but it is not going to help one achieve liberation from material bondage. Because one is still involved in the material sphere, interacting with material things, imagining material things, and associating with material things. So Prabhupada goes on, the uncivilized state of life or the life of the lower animals is controlled by the mode of tamas. The civilized life of a man with a passion for various types of material benefits is the stage of rajas. The rajas state of life gives a slight clue to the realization of the absolute truth in the forms of fine sentiments in philosophy, art, and culture with moral and ethical principles. But the mode of sattva is a still higher stage of material quality, which actually helps one in realizing the absolute truth. So this is a very nice point, that you have the lower life, uncivilized state of life, life of animals. All animals are controlled by the primarily by the mode of by the mode of ignorance, because they are ignorant. They are ignorant of who they are. They are ignorant of the purpose of the nature of this material world. They are ignorant of the existence of God. They have no understanding of these things. And the civilized, so-called civilized life of a human being, it is influenced by passion, because there are so many material kinds of benefits. And it gives a slight clue of the absolute truth. Why? Because the moment you have sense enjoyment in civilized life, then there is some kind of philosophy, there is some kind of music, there is some kind of art, there is some kind of culture. And in that culture, there might be some understanding of God, some kind of, so there is some finer sentiment there. Just eating, sleeping, the animals have no concern about such things. So there's some finer sentiment, and then there's some moral and ethical principles. And it gives some slight indication. But the mode of sattva is the highest stage. Why? Because it helps realizing the absolute truth. In other words, there is a qualitative difference between worshipping the different kinds, between the different kinds of worshipping methods, as well as the respective results derived from the predominating deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Hara. Hara is Lord Shiva. Okay, Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments, doubts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have three questions. The first question, as we were speaking about demigods and Supreme Personality of Godhead, but I have seen personally in my life two cases, and one is one is the brother of a devotee, like a newly brahmachari devotee in Gujarat. So according to him, I speak with him, and actually my friend told me to speak with him. When I speak with him, he said, as soon as I worship Shri Radha Giridhari, difficulties start coming more often in my life. So due to that reason, he started worshipping Swaminarayan. And he said, I'm worshipping them. So like, I don't know why, because he used to go in, he even came to Vyas Puja multiple times, personal association of senior devotees, but also he's like, but as to, like how long I have to tolerate, how long Krishna is taking my exam, like nothing is going on, family life is such a problem, wife and everything. He just quit everything and he just started, like he just, I mean, started chanting Swaminarayan, Japa and this and all. So how to understand this and what we can like tell him?
I mean, nothing. If one is going to evaluate, the whole point is that Krishna didn't want Arjuna to evaluate everything on the basis of material benefits. But if one's whole conception of God and relationship with God and everything related to God is simply based on the material platform, then we can't explain anything to them. It's not possible. And now Krishna, so Krishna may reciprocate with such people if they approach him for material desires, with material desires or relief. Krishna says 4 kinds of people approach him, right? Artho, Jigyasur, Artharthi. So then you have Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi. So then you see, you have these people that they are in distress, they are in material distress, and Krishna reciprocates with them. I mean, there is a reason why Tirupati Balaji is still the most visited temple. Even after all these concoctions of Sai Baba, everybody has come. And Sai Baba was pretty up there. I heard he's number 2, but he's still somehow or the other Balaji is number 1. Why? Why people are going to Balaji? Because there is some reciprocation. Most people are going there. I went this time, you know. And one Mataji is, first of all, women should not chant Gayatri. She is loudly chanting Shiva Gayatri. Loudly to Lord Shiva. And Mahadeva, this. And I'm thinking, you are in front of Narayana, you are in front of Krishna. You are chanting Shiva Gayatri. They have no clue. They have no understanding. And people don't care also. Now, here's the beauty, what I was thinking. I was thinking, wow, Krishna is so amazing. He is still In spite of all of that, he is reciprocating with these kinds of people. Right? So Krishna can choose to reciprocate. But if somebody is making that the condition on which they will place their faith in Krishna or not, and that's how a lot of people are, you can't do anything. You can advise them to worship Krishna, but Krishna may reciprocate, may not reciprocate with them. And if Krishna doesn't reciprocate with them in fulfilling their material desires, he has a reason. He has a reason. He doesn't want to fulfill their material desires because those material desires will probably push them further away than what he is right now. It might lead to more problems for him. We don't know exactly what is the reason. And there are prayers, there are places that you could recommend, they go here, you can worship this and worship that. But, as devotees, we tell them to worship Krishna. Krishna is in charge of everything. Now, they don't care about all of that. Their only conception is how much relief am I getting, how much misery am I not experiencing, and this and that. They're not very philosophical people. They are very sentimental. They are They are like animals. The animal will go, the dog will go wherever the biscuit is thrown. And whoever throws the biscuit, the dog is willing to become Sharanagati to that person and become its slave. If they are in that mentality, then wherever they get the crumbs, they go. And you see, Krishna, we are all Krishna's sons and daughters, or we're all living entities. We are parts and parcels of Krishna. But Krishna does not have to try to win us over as if we are so valuable and this and no. We have to understand his value. Our value is in relation to his value. We are worthless when we don't realize his value. As Vatsal Prabhu was here and he was giving such a nice example. And sometimes there's a screw fall. He said that, when he was coming up the road, he saw a screw and reminded him, this screw is just lying there. Nobody cares about that screw. But that screw was a part of something, but it fell off. Now, as soon as it fell off, it has no value. It had value when it was on the object where it belonged. So we have value like that, but we don't understand all of these things. So there's nothing much that can be done.
So, Guruji, if somebody says that I know like Krishna, okay, worshipping Krishna, your question, your Cheta Darpana Madhyam, chanting his name, make your consciousness pure and this and all. But as soon as someone tries to like chant more and more, his consciousness get polluted more. He was like, okay, now I don't have lusted desires before. Now I'm having more and more. The situation comes like that because somebody asked me the same
They
question.
explain that when you clean a room, it feels like it becomes more dusty. You heard that example, of course.
Yes.
So there are some examples that are given. See, ultimately, Prabhuji, people have to understand this on the basis of philosophy. Okay, this is how the process works. You just keep whining and whining and whining. You want everything to work in the way that you think it has to work. These just sissies. What can you say? The whole argument. There is no attachment to logic or anything. Oh, my lusty desires are increasing. Kahan se aa raha hai? Aap se aa raha hai na? It's in your heart. Where is it coming out of? You think the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is giving lusty desire? If you're that much of it, I don't know what to say. If you're that much of a fool, then it's very hard to save you. So, if you think that somehow Hare Krishna is bringing lusty desire, it's in your heart, Baba. Anyways.
Yes. And Prabhuji, other question is, one of the brahmachari in Gujarat told me, as soon as you grow spiritually in a like Krishna consciousness, Devraj Indra's find some difficulties. And as we read in Surah Bhagavatam, that you said that demigods will be happy if you go to Krishna. But at the same time, I don't know if it is true or not. That devotee told me that Devraj Indra send, if you become a brahmachari, so he will send a beautiful girl or something like that.
Yeah, that's there in the Bhagavatam. That the thing is that, anyways, I won't elaborate on this too much, but when we become devotees, we become pious. Chanting Hare Krishna is also explained in Shastra. Chanting the holy names of Krishna also generates punya. We are not interested in punya because we are not trying to stay in the material world. But if we don't finish our job, then what happens? We become demigods. So the demigods, they become insecure that we are becoming so pious, we are becoming so qualified. And if we don't go back to God and we land in their position, they'll get kicked out because there are only so many positions up there. So they become envious and they try to make you fall down. Because yes, they are devotees, but they are also influenced by the modes of material nature. So that's all. But ultimate bottom line is if one is sheltered and one is following properly and one is sincerely trying, then Krishna protects.
Okay,
Okay.
Prabhuji. Yes. And Prabhuji, one
All
last
right.
question.
Yeah.
You said we are in the Krishna's dream, and I heard that we are sleeping, like our form in a spiritual world is sleeping. We are just close our eyes and we came here. As soon as we go back, we'll
It
open our
can
eyes.
feel like that. It can feel like that when we go back to the spiritual world. When we go back to the spiritual world, it feels like we have woken up from a dream. Now, exactly what we are doing there, that's speculation. It doesn't say that we are sleeping in the spiritual world, our form is sleeping. It just says that when we come there, it feels like we just woke up into our original form and we were thinking, what was I doing down there in the material world? But we have recollection of our material existence.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hari.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody has anything else?
Hare Krishna, Guruji. I have a question.
Hare Krishna? Yes.
So, as we say that chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra will lead us to Gaurav Vrindavan Dham by purely chanting. And we also say that by our lusty desires and we wanted to become God, that's why we came on earth and stuck into this birth and death cycle. So, is it possible
Mm.
that even after chanting the holy name of God very purely, we we have gone to Gaurav Vrindavan Dham, but after even gone there, our lusty desires like it it come again. Is it possible?
As a FAQ, can we fall down from the spiritual world
Yeah.
again? So, you see, the bottom line answer is that if your question is it possible? Yes. That was Srila Prabhupada's answer. When Prabhupada was directly answered this question, he said yes, because the living entity has free will. We have free will. We have a choice. We always have a choice to love Krishna or to not love Krishna. So it is possible. However, you have to remember that having spent time in this material world, having had a recollection of everything that has happened, we are not very likely to do that. And therefore, Krishna says that one who goes from here doesn't come back.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Narayan?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, pranam.
Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Prabhuji, some of the I would say like my other, I don't know, like other spiritual masters, they say like if you follow your and like Grah's Jivan properly, or if you don't do anything wrong, like just following that, like following the path of righteousness, and if you're not doing anything wrong, then you will easily get liberated. So how we can like tell
It
them?
doesn't mean you will get liberated.
Yeah,
If
no,
you're just doing all your dharma, everything right, you are pious. And
yeah,
that pious activity means you will go to the heavenly planets. It doesn't mean you will get liberated.
and
They're saying like that, but where is the reference in Shastra that just by doing duty you will get liberated?
well, that's what our guru has said. That's the answer.
They have to see, people have to understand Shastra. It's not said like that in Bhagavad Gita. Why then, if that is the case, then why are we wasting time chanting Hare Krishna? Why are we doing all of this? Why is that even stated in Shastra?
Because like then they refer to that even Bhagwan and Krishna said to Arjuna like fight, do not, and he didn't say like okay, start chanting rounds, follow these four principles.
Nobody says,
Kill the
Manmana
devil.
bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishisi satyam te pratijane priya. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me. He tells Yajna Shashrina Santo Muchante Sarokil Vishai Bunjate Te Togam Papa Ye Pachanti Atma Karanat, that he says that if you just eat without offering, anything that is
You are
eaten
eating
without
sin.
offering to Krishna, you're just eating verily sin. Then he says, Patram Pushpam Palam Toem Yome Bhaktya Prayachati, one who offers with me a fruit, flower, water, a leaf with love, I accept it. Then he says, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnese upadekshityate jnanam jnaninastatva. Approach a guru, learn from him. He's telling so many things to do. He didn't just say do duty. All of that you do, and you do your duty also.
Hmm.
Why is Krishna saying all of this?
Like keeping
It's just
center.
wasting Arjuna's time. They don't know what to do,
Yeah.
They're having a coffee break and yapping whatever they feel like yapping. No. He's saying so many things in Bhagavad Gita.
Right. Yeah, Prabhu. I totally agree with.
Yeah. Okay, Chai. Thank you. Sunil?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I wanted to understand how to strengthen our resolve. So there may be days we are chanting 16, sometimes 20, 24 more, but certain
Pretty good.
days we feel, yeah, but certain days we feel down. Something happens materially, we're not in a good mood, don't feel like waking up like at 4:35. The resolve is less. We'll just like barely chant that 16, but then it feels like cheating. It feels like, no, I didn't do my best today. What are some of the best ways to strengthen the resolve in the face of like this changing moods? Does any like ashtakams they can help like a
I mean, see, you can chant. There are many prayers, you can chant verses of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita itself is a very powerful text. And one will learn Bhagavad Gita like that also, which is very good. You'll learn verses. You can learn the important verses of Bhagavad Gita and chant them. Um, but the thing is, ultimately, um, see, Krishna brings us to a point where we have to understand this is a process of devotional service. It's a science, and we can't just depend on magic to keep happening all the time. That it is a fight, and in this fight, it is expected that you may lose a few times, you may win a few times. What do they call? You have a war, and then you have battles. So battles are skirmishes and different things that are fought within a war. So some battles may be lost, some battles may be won, but you have to win the war ultimately. So we are fighting a war against Maya. We are fighting a war against our material existence, which has been continuing from time immemorial. It's been continuing from several lifetimes. It takes time. So when the but the solution really is to just yes, we may feel modded out. Yes, there are things that happen materially which get disturbing, but we continue. And yes, we may struggle that day with chanting, and it feels like we're not giving our best. So we continue, we pray to Krishna, we ask forgiveness, and we continue and we keep going. See, the more we do that, the more we actually become resolved. And I can tell you from personal experience that it works. It works. We've all gone through this. It works. It takes time. You can chant ashtakams, you can chant different things. There are many things that you can read. In Bhagavatam also, there are some verses. There are quite some amazing verses. One chants. Or there are just things like, it said that if you just chant Guru Ashtakam every day in the morning, it is said that you will go back to God. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur guarantees.
So you're giving me
So,
optimism. Like, yeah, now I'm
huh?
feeling a little relieved that you're giving me hope. Yeah, it feels nice.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. But you see, it's a process of love. Krishna wants to purify us of our tendencies, and he will make us do it. See, ultimately, many times we learn from frustration, and sometimes we are pushed to be frustrated because we are, it's just, we otherwise we still have those attachments and whatever this, that but then, see, at some point, this moodiness, we get frustrated of becoming moody. We become frustrated of letting our consciousness being dragged by so many different things. And that's when it helps you develop renunciation towards such things. Okay, whatever it is, I still chant Hare Krishna. Krishna will take care.
Yeah, that's where the difficulty, Prabhu. Like it's like the faith is really tested. Like
Yeah, it is. It is tested for everyone. It is tested for everyone. But yeah, keep going on. It's the same process: reading, chanting, taking Krishna Prasadam, associating with devotees. That's the process.
Yeah, Prabhu, some days if we eat from outside, like let's say anything like a small thing, like a very small chocolate, like any, like a cookie, cake, whatever, uh, does it hurt our process also?
Certainly,
It, it
it will
does.
weaken your Krishna consciousness. It will weaken your Krishna consciousness. You will get other ideas. You get
Mm-hmm.
influenced by other things. Definitely, it will. Because consciousness is carried. Consciousness of the cook is carried, and then whatever they are thinking, also you put in your head. So then you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
We observed that during Vinayak Chauthi celebrations in the
Yeah,
community.
so absolutely.
They prepared, each one of the other people prepared some
Potluck.
prasadam. Yeah, not potluck as such, but
They made
like a
prasadam.
prasadam only.
They made prasadam.
It was
for
offered. But
Ganesh. Yeah.
even when we were consuming prasadam that is offered, somehow our minds were not stable. We were not able to chant the 16 rounds. So I mean, we clearly saw that difference.
Because one thing is, it's stated in Shastra that anything offered to the demigods without it being offered to Krishna first, the demigods don't accept it.
Yeah.
So it's not prasadam. And then Vaishnavas, they don't take that kind of demigod prasadam. So then you have those kind of effects.
Yeah.
So yeah, you experience it and you learn.
Yeah, we experienced that. After that, we completely.
It was very hard.
One second. Prabhu, don't do your laundry. Okay. All right. Yes.
Yeah, it was like very tough learning because the swing it took was big deal. Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah. Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Jai Hare Krishna. Okay, so I'll end here. Thank you very much.
Prabhu, I have a quick small question. Can I ask?
Oh yeah. Yes.
It's gonna be very quick. Just a follow-up question from the Sunil Papu. Prabhu asked, like there are the days we don't chant the good rounds, and we feel it is bad. But on the second time, like on second and like on my mind, we know that this is one of the offense that we are not attentively chanting the holy name.
Yes.
So like
Yes.
Prabhu, like on one hand, you have a fight of your materialistic battle, and also you have one fight in your mind that, oh no, you are not doing the correct thing. So like how we align?
We are not doing the right thing. That doesn't mean that we should not do it. See, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma pala hetu bhur ma te sangostva karmani. That one should perform one's duty. Even if one performs it imperfectly, it is better than not performing it, and it is better than performing somebody else's duty. So our duty is to chant Hare Krishna. Now, there are times and days, unfortunately, where we are not having proper consciousness. That doesn't mean we should not chant Hare Krishna. I heard this argument. Prabhuji, isn't it better to chant one good round instead of chanting 4 nonsense rounds? Another nonsense argument. The point is you chant 4 good rounds, and initially it may be nonsense, but it will become good rounds if you understand that the goal is to actually always chant Hare Krishna. We are supposed to be chanting Hare Krishna 24 hours a day. 16 rounds is the concession. And now we are arguing that I won't chant 16, I'll chant only 1 round. Then after some time we'll think, why chant that also? Prabhu, in my heart, Krishna is there in my heart. So all that kind of nonsense arguments will come. So the thing is, it's good to feel guilty that one is not chanting proper rounds, but the solution is to chant. What is the simple thing? You perform exercises. So when one is working out for the first time, initially your muscles become all sore, like anything. They pain so much. What are you supposed to do? Just lie down and forget about it? No, you have to keep doing. You have to maintain the same number of whatever rounds of things you're doing. Say you're doing push-ups or whatever. You have to keep it up. No. One good push-up is better than 10 push-up. Anybody argue like this? Idiot only will argue.
No.
So it's it's the same thing. It's a sadhana. Sadhana
Yes.
means practice, spiritual
Practice.
practice. Means initially, even the way we are doing push-up, it's not good. But the more you do it, we've had this exercise. If you've ever done exercise, you will know. Initially, you may not be doing it perfectly, but as you do it, it becomes better. You become better at doing it. So it's the same thing with chanting Hare Krishna.
Yes. Understood, Prabhu. Thank you.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you to everyone for attending. Hare Krishna. So we'll meet again, Krishna willing, Saturday. I hope we do have our Sankirtan felicitation. But I'm not sure exactly when it will end, but we'll see. Hopefully we should be able to meet Saturday. Okay, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo